Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For this video, I wanted to do something different for today's video. I wanted to try doing a more chatty type thing. So this video will be all the reasons I create. As artists, you know, if you are one, we all have our reasons why we decided to become one and reasons why we keep making things. I think it's good to know why you do the things you do, so I thought I'd take you through why I create art while drawing. You know, an art and chat. Hopefully this video does alright, as I normally don't chat too much in my videos, but I wanted to try it. Anyways, before I begin, the piece you're watching me create is a piece for my friend's birthday. I'm drawing her Oc Cyrene. Her design looked so cool I had to. My friend is also an amazing artist and just an overall wonderful person, so please go follow her Instagram at IndigoStarsArt if you like cool art. Okay, so this first reason may sound stupid, but hear me out. I like making art because it's fun. Pretty simple, I know, but it's probably why I stuck with it all these years. For me, I have fun grabbing all the art supplies I can get my grubby paint-covered hands on and going ham on a piece of paper. Every time I'm bored, I instinctively draw. Like when I'm working, I work at a restaurant, be quite slow sometimes, and I usually work the cash register. I'll grab me a piece of receipt paper and a pen because there's usually one around, and I just doodle something. I even started bringing a sketchbook with me, so when I inevitably go on a break, I can do some sketchbooking. I also just like seeing all my ideas that are in my head come to life, which is another reason why I like creating art. I feel so accomplished when the idea that I had in my head for a while finally gets made, and it's pretty much what I had envisioned. And that's why I advocate for making things, because it gives you the satisfaction and accomplishment of seeing all your hard work bring your ideas to life that something like AI can't. I love art. Another reason why I create is because I love experimenting and trying new things. Being an art major at my university has allowed me to create things that I would never have made if I hadn't been one. In my first 2 years of college, I've gotten to make a big vase, mugs, an almost 5-foot charcoal drawing, and even a stool. I've tried wheel throwing and woodworking, and I'm excited for next semester because I finally get to try oil painting and printmaking. These are all things I wouldn't have tried if I decided that creating wasn't for me. This probably goes hand in hand with art being fun, but I have a blast trying new mediums and exploring all the things that I can do with said mediums. I create also because, for me at least, making art is a much easier way for me to communicate my ideas, emotions, or thoughts rather than talking. Let me explain. For me personally, I tend to have a hard time with speaking, especially when it comes to speeches and presentations. In my head, I know what I want to say, but something wacky happens when it goes from my brain to my mouth, and I stumble and stutter my way through it. I could think of something so profound in my head, but when I try to verbalize it, it sounds like the stupidest thing I've ever said. Does anyone relate? Which is why I'm more comfortable with writing and with making art that expresses what I would like to portray. Which is why I wrote my talking points out. Art for me is a way to actually get my ideas out in a way that makes sense without me having to struggle through trying to verbalize it. I think art allows me to connect to people a whole lot better than words could. I could stumble my way through a sentence, but my art can speak multitudes for me. I also love that art can mean a multitude of other things to other people, which to me is more meaningful than words could ever be. Art can connect many different people together, and I think that's really beautiful. That's why I love creating art and sharing it with people. Art can make people happy, and that fills me with joy. This one probably goes hand in hand with the last one, but making art helps me make sense of certain things. Let me explain this one. When I took my watercolor class, my projects my professor had us do were all based on chapters of the Book of Psalms. Well, minus the first one, which was based on the depiction of water in the Bible. I go to a Christian university, if that makes sense. Therefore, I had to study and think about what the verses were trying to say for me to make a painting based off of it. And some were easier than others, but what I'm getting at is the act of creating a visual representation of the passages helped me to understand them a whole lot more than just reading it. Which was great for me, since before some Bible passages were hard for me to grasp exactly what the author was trying to get at.
I've always been a visual learner, so that's probably why the act of creating a visual representation of the Psalms helped me to understand them better. And of course, my work can help those understand something better as well. I also think making art has allowed me to gain a community with other artists online and in real life. I've posted my art to social media for 4 years now, and I love all the wonderful artists I've got to discover and interact with. I think art not only brings people together with its messaging and meaning, but the act of creating and sharing it can bring other artists together. I've been able to participate in things like art telethons because I've gotten to interact with amazing artists. In real life, being an art major has allowed me to meet some amazing, wonderful, and insanely creative people. I feel so blessed to be able to create alongside these artists and designers, and I also feel so blessed to be able to learn from my amazing professors. I've got to meet people I could call my friends, such as my friend who I mentioned earlier. Also, if you're someone who knows me from college and is one of the people I mentioned, hi, hello, you're super cool. Anyways, I'm pretty introverted, so the fact that I got to interact with amazing artists really shows the power of art. Having been an artist or someone who draws for a while now has given me quite the catalog of pieces I can look back on, which is why I still create. I think it's fun to go back and look at all my older pieces of work to see the growth I've been able to achieve. Every time I go back to an old sketchbook, I cringe because the art in it is not that good, but that also means I've grown and my work has improved, so I no longer like what I see, which in return motivates me to keep going and keep improving. If you are an artist watching right now and you're feeling like you aren't improving and you're stuck in a rut, may I recommend looking through old pieces? It's helped me to realize that I have improved, and I will improve. This period of self-doubt will pass. I think it's good to keep all your old art. You never know when you'll need it again. And keep creating, so you have more art to look back on in the future. Creating art has helped me to connect to the world around me. My art is heavily influenced by all the things I see, things I like, and things I believe in. My watercolor class has allowed me to go out into different places to paint in. It helped me to just sit down and really connect to the world that was around me to observe and paint. Being an artist has helped me to slow down in my life and really observe, which has obviously helped me to be a better artist for sure. If I can make a suggestion, and I did in my last video, I think you should totally go plein air painting. It helped me to be in the present moment and to observe, which is a good skill for an artist to have. I think it had a positive effect on me as it allowed me to further connect with what was around me. We all seek connection with others in the world, but sometimes connection isn't always an online one. Sometimes it's getting out with some painting supplies and enjoying what's around you. The last point I wanted to touch on was that I create to inspire. When I was applying to colleges back in the fall of my senior year of high school, the one art school I was applying to had me write a little essay, and in it I could choose from 3 prompts. The one I chose happened to be about what I wished to do after I graduated from there. I thought long and hard about this, as there were many things I'd like to do with my art. One of them being illustrating books and comics and creating my own someday. But I decided to pivot and talk about one day my art inspiring others to create. This was something I hoped to one day achieve because it was other artists I looked up to inspiring me to go into art and study it now. I talked about how the artist Greta Lusky's work inspired me to become better at art and to try to pursue book illustrating. Without discovering her, I probably wouldn't be where I am at and would also trying to pursue veterinary sciences. Like her, I want to be able to inspire other young people to create and chase their aspirations. Even if they don't pursue it as a career, it'd be nice knowing that I encourage someone to create that thing they've always been wanting to make or try something new. And to a certain extent, it feels like I already have just by posting my silly little drawings and paintings to the internet. There's probably no way of knowing that for sure, but something tells me it's very possible. But if I can encourage anyone right now, I'd say that thing you've been wanting to make or that thing you've wanted to try, do it now. It doesn't matter if you are good. Part of learning is the experience you get by doing. And I can attest to that, as there's been things I've tried but didn't turn out so good. However, I learned from it and the next time was a whole lot better. So don't be afraid of trying and failing. You got this. So yeah, that's the various reasons why I create art. I do it for fun. I do it to try new things. I do it as an act of communication. I do it to make sense of things. I do it to build community. I do it to improve and evolve with past art showing this along the way. and I create to inspire others to do the same. I'm glad I decided to go into these reasons and really understand why I love creating so much. As artists, knowing why you create and stick with the process of creating is important, especially nowadays with the rise of AI-generated images and generative AI becoming bigger and bigger. As it starts to ingrain our everyday lives, more and more people, specifically the ones who are accepting generative AI with open arms, question why artists choose to spend hours on something when the computer could do it for you in less time. I hope they realize producing an image isn't the sole reason why artists create art, and it isn't the most important part of the creation process. I just listed why I'd rather spend hours and hours making something rather than typing a few words into a computer and having it spit out an image. And I'm sure all of you watching do too. Sorry if this turned into a little AI rant, but I had to say it. So yeah, if you're an artist watching right now, why do you create? Do we share similar reasons? Or is there another reason you create that I didn't mention? I'd love to hear it, so drop it in the comments if you'd like. Anyways, hopefully this made sense, and I hope you guys like this very different video. Again, I don't normally talk this much in videos, but I wanted to try my hand at it. I would like to do more art and chat videos in the future, so let me know if there's something you'd like me to chat about. As always, thank you so much for watching this little video, and I hope you liked it a little bit. I really enjoyed making this piece for my friend, who you should follow, and I liked how it came out in the end. Again, thanks so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!